Good morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. It is 11, almost 11:15 a.m. my time, Monday the 13th, November 13th. And I know I didn't have a Sunday show yesterday. This might make up for a little bit, but I want to do the whole, you know, Sunday show broadcasting thing. But I did want to talk a little about cleaning up the Great Debate community, um, looking at the sock accounts, the trolls, and again, asking Heretics for an apology, which I'll definitely go into. The link to join is in the video description. Anybody's welcome to come in. I am monitoring for
Hi.
snipers though, so if I don't know you, you get instantly gone. But I am having cameraman on, so
Hello, Steve.
yeah, we'll call this it's not really even the Sunday show, Barney. Barney's like Monday Sunday show. I do that every so often, but no. But come on in, Barney. I like your opinion as well. So let me kind of discuss what I'm going to be discussing here. I've noticed that in 2 polls now, we've had the same people vote contrary to what I would normally expect to see. They're actually in the exact same order, and none of them have any content whatsoever. Obviously, I think these are sock accounts. When literally they're in the exact same order in 2 different votes, about 50 people that I have no idea who they are, I think they're obviously, socks. So I wanted to get your opinion on it and say, should we clean up the GDC and be removing people that are just clearly socks for obvious reason? Because when we do polls, we are asking for people's opinion for a reason, and to have skewed results doesn't do anybody any good, right? So can I screen share what I'm talking about to show you what I'm referring to, and then we can go from there. Yay.
Go for it.
All right. So let me put this up. Okay, this is one poll here. Okay, this is the latest poll that I had. This is the poll that asked, have I ever made the assertion that I've demanded people use a certain type of definition when it comes to atheism? Heretic has on numerous occasions claimed that I have said that if you're in the GDC or if you're going to have a conversation, you must use one definition of atheism or another. I have never asserted nor said any such thing, or any remote magnitude have ever said any such thing. I have made it clear that I personally prefer a specific definition. I have never said otherwise. I've tried to convince people that's a better definition. Never says otherwise. Sock counts pretty much the same thing as me. Agrees wholeheartedly that's a better definition. We both have tried to get people to agree that's a better definition, but I've never forced anybody or ever demanded anybody used a different definition than I use, or excuse me, so the same definition that I use. They can use any definition what they want. I'm the one that's been arguing, contrary to what people have been saying, and there's only really been 2. There's basically, at this point, MP and Heretic for some reason. My argument has always been that there are multiple definitions for atheism. And if you want to go read about what I think and what the GDC generally thinks, go read the article on Wiki that Nestle did on atheism. It's quite good. It's informative. It pretty much explains it in detail ad nauseum. I don't know what else Nestle could have added to made it any clearer than it was.
Yeah, I can be very thorough in things.
It's thorough, yeah. I mean, to say the least, it's probably overkill. But to say that at this point that I've ever said that you have to use a specific definition, when I made it clear that there are multiple definitions. As a matter of fact, my argument to atheists is that when atheists are saying there is only one definition, my argument is there's more than one. That's the problem. I think they're projecting that they think that I am saying there's only one. There's only the philosophical one. That's the only one that you can use. That has never been an argument that I've ever made. And if you note the people that are voting, when I said, have I made such an assertion, or have never made such an assertion, there's a lot of people that agree I've never made such an assertion. And the only people that says I made an assertion right now that I recognize the names are MP, Heretic, Rumpus, and maybe, and I know who Cannibal Fresh is, but he has actually just messaged and he said, look, can you put some of this stuff in context and I'll change my vote. So he's willing to look at the evidence, because Heretic keeps putting up quotes of me substantiating something that of course I'm arguing for. I think it's a better definition, but his claims were that I've said you have to use some definition, right? That's a big difference there. So I mean, look at the names here.
The Rumpus. to Rumpus.
Well, yeah, after the rumpus. So Robin Dude, Simple Informed Shareable, Meth Face, Chloroform Logic, African Orphan, Wang Lin Quinn, Holden Woody. Yeah, see these names here? Who know? We have no idea who these people are because they're none of these have. I've checked a vast majority of them, almost all of them besides.
And who is Cannibal Fresh?
I've known Cannibal Fresh for a long time.
Oh,
he seems like a decent guy. Although it is weird. Okay, I'm not trying to insinuate anything, Cannibal Fresh, but he had not been around for a while. When he comes back to the community, all these socks show up with him. I don't know. I mean, Cannibal Fresh could be kind of out there, but he's always been a decent guy to me.
I am currently in a discussion with him on GMOs, and he came back to me with, "Oh, it's dangerous because someone might produce a super bug that could destroy all humanity or something like that."
Well, I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't have some odd ideas. His name's Cannibal Fresh, but he'll actually come into hangouts. He will engage. I don't really, know his stances on a lot of stuff, but I'm just saying that every other name in here, I don't know who they are, right? So if you look at the other one, this one is the other one. No, that's not the other one. Hang on. I had them both up here in a second. Okay, let me just scroll down here. I just use the same screen. There's just two. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Oh, we have a lot of posts. We're an active community. Here we go.
I think at least half the posts lately have been polls too.
I know. Well, I like polls, but I mean, I think we're getting a little carried away. Okay. So the people that said this is a fallacy to authority, if you look after Cannibal Fresh, look at the names. Same people. And here, I'll put them side by side if I can. Right? Can you guys see this?
And
yeah, am I screen sharing? Because I can't see.
I see a screenshot, but I'm not sure what you are referring to. I see multiple posts.
Can you see the? Oh, I see what it is. Okay, one sec. The reason is I'm not fully screen sharing. Let me screen share the whole screen. That would probably help.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so now I have two posts side by side. This one on the left-hand side is from where I asked, is this a fallacy? Right? Fallacy appeal to authority. This one's I have made as an assertion. Now, we recognize these names up here. Right? I know who Sharon is, Be Thou My Vision, Daniel, Charlie, Phosphorus Truth. But once you get down to Cannibal Fresh, look at the names.
It's in the same order.
It's in the same order, right? Exactly. Yeah, Wood Facts for Free. I mean, Sean Mitchell, we know who he is. But SW, Meddling for Kids, TS, Lucifer. So yeah, I mean, these are all the exact same names. Like, I mean, obviously there's some mixed in that I do know, but very, very little compared to the exact order. Making Dad a Woman. I know who DY. Right, I've seen this person before. They're DYSK. They've been in the live feed before. But all these other people, we don't know who. Cisco took. I got mine. See, thump. Do you guys see the pattern here?
Yeah. Is it the Cannibal Fresh or someone else?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Cannibal Fresh showed up. Potato Brain. Cannibal Fresh showed up a long time, and all of a sudden, all these troll accounts come up as well. I don't think that he would, but hit his last name on there before all these other troll accounts start, right? I mean, it's just every one of these.
It's not conclusive. It's not conclusive evidence, but it's a bit of a strange coincidence.
I mean, yeah, but you know what? But he's an honest guy. I mean, he seems really cool to me. I don't want to falsely accuse him. I mean, Living Free here is kind of a troll. I think he's a flat earther. I don't know. Getting stuff. It could, and he's last name on both lists. But so is like DYSK, who's an instigator. So it doesn't really matter who's doing it. My point is that obviously these are troll accounts, and I think that I want to make sure that everybody kind of agrees with that. Do you guys agree with that? Let me get back to the live feed here.
Are these two the only polls where these
names show up? Yes.
Okay. You can maybe you can compare in which post only one name comes up, and then you have like a series of suspects.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not really interested in who's doing it. But if you want to like narrow it down, maybe that's fine.
You can ask him or her to not do this anymore if you can figure out who it is.
That's true. The problem is I don't want to like falsely remove somebody who's not.
No, I'm not asking
real.
that. No.
Yeah. So, but here's the problem I'm running to: is that just because somebody doesn't have active account on their G Plus doesn't necessarily mean they're a troll account, right, or sock account.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't want to inappropriately remove somebody, but what I can do is make the list of names, put them up on a post, and show if any of these people are real, then you need to contact me. And I mean, do you think we should be removing these fake accounts?
If you can determine that they are fake accounts, then I think you should, because it doesn't matter if you remove them. The person who is using them can just use his or her main account.
What's the criteria by which we determine whether they're fake accounts? Besides the fact that obviously most of these are that are voting clearly.
Yeah, if it's really obvious, then you should. But if you're doubt, then I don't think you should.
Well, how about this? Like I said, if I just put the names that I don't know that are on both polls, put them up on a post, and it says, if you're one of these people that are real, you need to get in touch with me, and I'll give it a couple of days.
Maybe that's a good idea. Yes.
Because, like I said, none of those names have ever interacted with me. I know that that one guy with the D is a real person, and I know that Living Sock or Living whatever his name is, he's interacted with MP. But you know, my point is, I think that we probably should start cleaning up the GDC of trolls. Unfortunately, we do allow anybody in just about. I only do a very cursory thing when people apply, and I'm not always the one approving. Other people approve people too. So I think every so often we do have to clean house. I'm not interested in having large numbers as far as, oh, look how many thousands of people we have in the GDC. Not my goal.
No.
I'd rather have quality than quantity any day of the week, right? So I want people that are engaging, that have good things to say. I've warned people, if you're just going to leave trollish comments, don't bother or get out. I want to eliminate the rhetoric, the negative rhetoric from trolls that has been going on as of recently, because that just lowers the standards across the board. It makes freaking post very difficult to read, very difficult to follow. Yeah, I know my voice is still shot, by the way. But I wanted to get your guys' input on this.
Basic principles of philosophy.
So, Dress, do you agree?
Yeah, I actually do. I actually think what we should instill is a code of conduct, and then we have a benchmark mechanism that's fair and equal to all people that join. These are the expected code of conduct that we should have as a group. Because
I don't want to make it too rigid, though.
No, but it's just putting things. I mean, things like, you know, I mean, it wasn't on GDC, but it was in another group that I belonged to, and the guy posted up in an atheist versus theist forum a question that was only, you know, the questions were only saying, you know, Christianity's real or it's real kind of thing. And I said,
okay,
and I said that's more. You know, that's more suitable for a Bible study Christian group rather than here. Here we're talking about the contention between theists and non-theists. And yeah, well, I got a diatribe of insults for trying to be nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, and somebody says in the live chat, eliminating negative rhetoric and trolls on an internet forum. Are you crazy? No, I know that we can never eliminate it, nor do I think I want to completely eliminate it.
It should be possible.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's some people that would like that. I've had certain conversations with certain people that I respect greatly that are very well educated, and that who would like to see the GDC move away from like things like G-Man and Ronnie. I can't do that. It would kill my base, and I'd really rather not. I mean, the GDC is a mixture of things, right? And we do play on the fact that, you know, there are people out there saying that they have a scientific expertise they don't have, and that make really demonstrably wrong comments. I am entertained by that. I think other people are as well. Would you agree?
Yes, I do.
I think as long as it's balanced. I think if the entire remit, because otherwise all we're doing is we're turning the GDC into a Talking Shit Tuesday. So there's got to be balance. It should be kind of, that's the lols versus the serious stuff. And I think that's the balance we need to
I absolutely agree with that. Yes. Yeah, I mean, we seem to be able to differentiate between the lulls and the serious stuff, right? Right?
I would agree.
Okay.
I will say, don't watch Ronnie's last video.
I haven't seen Ronnie's last video yet. I saw it come up, but I haven't had time yet.
Just don't.
Is it that bad?
Evidently, I think someone's actually a Poe and they're Poeing him.
Oh, that might be true. But you want to see a
follower of Redline that's now become a creationist.
You want to see a really good troll? I'm going to show you guys how to troll because, I lap and like the votes. The not a lot of them, but a group of 7 loves these polls, and he keeps saying that we need more. So I mean, I like a grip of 7. I think he's a great guy. So he wants as many polls that we could possibly get. I'm okay with that, right? Because he just loves the polls, loves them to death, and just thinks of the best things of the GDC. So, because I like a grip of 7, I think we probably should have more polls. What about you?
I don't know. I think polls about like popular opinion, more about that. So
it's just to get a feel.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm trolling the hell out of Gripper because he hates the polls.
Well, we should have a poll about if we should have more polls or not.
I've said that all along. Yeah, we should have a poll.
Oh, damn it.
Wow. Who is that?
I don't know.
It's just somebody who wants to promote his own channel, I think. He said
Yeah, but
subscribe.
The idiots don't realize that if they're not broadcast, nobody can hear them on the outside chat. Yeah. All right, so okay, so I'll do that. So we will. I'll go through those names. I'll post them all that I think that are trolls or sock accounts, and then if I don't hear from any of those people, I'll remove them.
You can add my sock account to it because both me and my sock account are members of the GDC.
Yeah.
So I'll.
Now you're allowed to have sock account.
Oh, Steve.
I got it. Yeah, they're. Yeah.
Steve, remove them, please.
I
or at least one of them.
Yeah, they're both been moved. They're just hanging in there. They're both gone already.
Oh dear, that was quite funny. But no one outside of this group will ever know why.
Well, nice name on that one. On the other one of them.
You do not want to know what we just saw. No, you don't.
Yeah, but see what I'm saying? That there's a lot of people that are trolling. I'll tell you the story of that in a second here. Maybe I'll mod. Just eject anybody who comes in.
I suggest, Steve, you remove the link from the description.
No, I want the link. I want actual people to come in. I could kick these people out faster and they can't do anything because they're hidden from broadcast as they come in, and they're muted as they come in. So you just have to be on top of it. And if we get sniped, big deal. We're going to start another hangout. It's not a big deal. But they can't do any damage because they're hidden from broadcast. So just don't show them. But I will kick them out on the outside feed. I'll snipe them, and you guys will kick them out internally. Sound good?
Yep.
Sound good.
Okay. So anyways, going back on topic here, I kind of really want to talk about the Heretic's apology to me that I think he is due. If you guys have been following that particular thread, Heretic keeps posting what he thinks is evidence to support his claim when it's evidence to support that what I've been saying all along, right? I have always said that I prefer one definition to another, but he's posting things saying that just because I personally prefer something one over the other, I'm enforcing that everybody has to use that particular definition. So I'm going to ask everybody in here, has any of you ever heard me in all the years I've been on YouTube say that you must use this particular definition? Have I not said there's no intrinsic meaning to words and there's definitions that are more useful and less useful? And I find the one I use to be more useful, but that doesn't mean you have to use it.
Yeah. I have disagreed with you on that before, on all this definitional stuff, but I agree with you when you say that.
Yeah, you might disagree. People may disagree which one's more useful. That's a fair argument.
Yeah.
People have that discussion, but I have never said, Nessig, you have to use this definition,
No,
have I?
No, you have never said that. No.
Right, and that's the point that I'm making to
at least not to my knowledge.
Yeah, that's fine. No, I mean you can only go by your knowledge. Well, that's why I'm asking across the board. If anybody has any knowledge to the contrary, please let me know. It's so far it's pretty much only Heretic making these assumptions, these claims, and occasionally maybe MP weird stuff, but I don't know. Half the time I don't know what MP's talking about. I have to have Sokka intervene and see if he's like the MP whisperer. So, I mean, I'll give a chance in the live chat. Has anybody heard me say that you have to use a specific definition? And then he's taking things out of context. Like I'm having a discussion with Emperor Atheist later on, possibly even today. And oh, real quick, Jim Hill, who's known me for several years, says, I'll back Steve up. We didn't have a dictionary battle. We had two different definitions, and we argued which one was more useful. Exactly. That's it. And that has never been something that I've denied. Right.
Well, the main thing here is that these discussions are typically about what you do believe. Now, what the definition of don't exist. That's a differentiation here, is people don't understand that you believe.
Yeah, and that's it. Oh, and Jim Herman, he's been with me a long time too. Jim has been Steve has been consistent with arguing that his definition is the best, not that everybody has to use it. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I definitely think it's a better definition. And Agrippa even says you encourage people to have one. I don't know what that means. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be beneficial to use the same one, but obviously that's not practical, right?
Yeah. Perhaps if it will be more productive to have one definition, but that is almost impossible with things like this.
And by the way, that other guy, Gob, that had written to Matt Dillahunty, he just sent me another email. I'll have to go through it, but I'm just kind of looking at it really quick. But he's just like, I agree. After I've been able to clarify things, then it makes more sense to people. But when they just jump in and they haven't seen any prior shows, or they haven't listened to me prior, and they don't understand fully what I'm talking about, then there is a miscommunication there. And he looks like he's apologizing, and he's saying that I do not think you're trying to misrepresent Matt's position. I think in these cases, with things so much nuance, things get miscommunicated. And if I did misunderstand you, then I apologize. Yeah, fair enough. And I'll respond to that later. Heretic, I think, doesn't. Oh, thank you, Bob. Bob's in the live chat. I want people to understand. I want people to not have miscommunication when I say something, right? But when I see people like Heretic, who's now for like a year or two constantly misrepresenting, after he's been explained numerous times, like how many times have we explained to MP the burden of justification by what it is in a legal term, right? But he still, just even recently, goes on about that. So,
Steve, are you demanding or are you asking for an application? God damn it! Apology.
No, I'm not well, I mean, it sounds demanding, but it's just an aggressive. It's an aggressive request. And who's breathing?
Who's breathing very hard?
Oh my God! You sound like you're having a coronary. There you go. Yeah. I hate to demand, but I feel very strongly.
Sock is like saying, so we're demanding apologies now. I was like, he's asking for one. Demanding it, I don't know. Maybe semantics. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it definitely is semantics. Who's breathing?
That's not me.
No, it's not you.
Chris, I will mute you for a moment. So,
if you're going to ask someone for something, you might want to invite the actual person you're asking.
So, anyways, has anybody followed the thread beside? I know assuming not Nessa got to know.
I haven't followed things like that anymore. The definitional stuff. It's way over.
No. Have you followed that the post that Heretic's posting on, supposedly posting evidence that I've said this, and Rumpus has somehow bought into this?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because Rumpus posted something that I said to EA about EA burden shifting, But of course, it's not taken in context, right?
Mm.
There's always a history behind most of these things. And the reason I said that it seemed to me that EA was burden shifting is EA does assert that God does not exist, and I think that he asserts it and then says that's not a claim, and that requires no burden of justification. But that's why I need to clarify with him. And as I'm reading what he's saying, if he's saying that, that is burden shifting, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can turn around and you can say there is no evidence I have found to be sufficient. Not a claim. It's just the fact you haven't been presented with evidence that you see to be sufficient versus God does not exist as a statement. That is a claim.
Yeah,
that
two
requires,
things, right?
Requires evidence. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you got to stop. Okay, the next person that I hear a noise from, whether it be breathing or eating chips, I'm going to have to like hide you from broadcast or something because the live chat is going nuts. They're right. This is not amateur hour. Mute your mic.
Sorry, that was my fault. I was grinding pepper onto my pizza next to my mic.
Yeah,
that was definitely my fault.
Yeah, just so everybody mute when you're not talking.
Yeah, Nim said.
I agree with live chat. They're going nuts.
Nim says, or if you decide to masturbate, mute, please.
Yeah. The live chat, my listeners and viewers have very sensitive ears. They do.
Fuck.
Oh, people like, what about Jade and her jam chips? That was nutty the other day. I was going crazy.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Cool.
They want to know, Midnight, are you going to make Steve do more math videos? He's been trying.
Yeah, but he won't do it. Whatever.
I'll get around to some more.
Are you going to finally prove that 0.9999 is the same as 1?
I think by now everybody's got on board except for maybe 1 or 2 people. I think Sean's the only holdout, but I think he's only doing it because he doesn't want to like. Yep.
Jay's in the chat. Not my damn chips. I'm not there.
No, Jade's chips are so loud we can still hear them. Okay, so. Jade, you can come in. The link is in the
Oh, that's funding. I'm not funding him, so I'm not giving any money. I'm not pulling the funding from nowhere.
So, anyways, I want to make this point. I want to make the point that when you have people that continually for this long a period of time misrepresent somebody, where do you go from there? I mean, what else am I supposed to do? I have made it, to my opinion, exceptionally clear. If I have not made it clear to a very small select group of people, namely like 2 people, I don't feel like I've not accomplished something. I don't feel like it is the problem's on my end.
I think they mistakenly take your position as when you say, "Oh, I think this definition is better," to, "Oh, this definition is like the only true one," or something like that.
How does somebody make that jump of reasoning though?
I don't know. I've seen many people do things like that, not just on that, or like evolution, or on topics like GMOs.
Well, it's like. Sorry, Mr.
Oh, so now go ahead.
It's like the post about the logic, between valid. Sorry, I'm losing my brain here. But the fact that everybody was actually talking about the term expert when that actually wasn't the issue. It was whether the logical argument itself was valid.
That was that was the crux of the matter. The whole argument on that, before we got into anything else, as I was arguing, this is a valid. You can argue the soundness, which I think it is sound, and I think most people thought it was sound, but you cannot argue the validity, right?
Yes. I for example, the thing I sometimes experience is when I argue in favor of GMOs, the person accuses me of being for Monsanto. Like that.
That was a phone quake, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. They'll be back. Yeah, I everybody in the live chat, I've admonished people about the mic thing. So when they're not speaking, they need to be muted. If not, I'll just go through and demute people. But yeah, there was a phone quake. Yeah. So.
And the Monsanto thing isn't even an argument anymore because Monsanto's company doesn't exist. So you need to go and complain to somebody else now, or round up a different problem.
Yeah,
Monsanto.
Well, I mean, G-Man loves to pontificate on GMOs, but I have yet to see if he knows what they are.
I was going to say, has he figured out the difference between plumping, injecting antibiotics and steroids, and genetically modifying an organism?
He thinks they're all one and the same thing.
Yeah. He just doesn't understand it at all. He thinks he does, and then he mixed these.
Yes, like now your mic's going to shit.
Sorry. Is this better?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I was saying that the G-Man doesn't know anything about this subject, and that's why he's making these very, very dumb mistakes constantly.
Yeah, it's not that he doesn't even know anything about it. He doesn't know anything. About
anything,
it.
literally.
Like the very, 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 very basic. But that's okay. I mean, I enjoyed his video. I was like, this is like hilarious. He needs to do more like this. Because he just doesn't understand any of this stuff.
Please, so I can make more videos like the last one.
Yeah, he needs. Well, didn't he say he was going to make a video on the whole DNA and water thing? That never happened. That never transpired. Why not?
A quick question.
Sure.
If I remain inactive for a few minutes, do I automatically disconnect?
No, that's called a phone quake. What happened?
Oh, right, okay.
A phone quake is basically anybody on a phone or Android system, like a tablet.
Yeah, I'm on Android.
Yeah, Google has a weird thing that it doesn't like Android, and it kicks everybody out for like a second or two. And then
all right, cool.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy. Are you on Android?
Yeah, I've got Android for the Hangout, and I'm using my PC just to look at the screen in the live chat.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah.
I've not got a long enough mic to put it into my sound card, so Android's pretty much the only option at the moment.
Some people are saying GMAT owes science an apology. I agree with that.
It certainly does.
Yeah, I agree with that. But you know, like this phone quake thing, right? Let me give you another example. People seem to jump to conclusions pretty quickly. Let me give you another example of what I kind of want your guys' opinion on. Like, there's somebody in the community by the name is Be Thou Thy Vision. Her name's Sharon. I've known her for a very long time. I met her years ago on a video by Dr. Jonathan Safadi when Dr. Safadi, and her were engaged in conversation for a period of many months over on this thread. And she's joined the GDC. She's a young Earth creationist, right? But she's not a troll, right? It drives me nuts when people call her a troll. She's not a troll. She literally believes everything she says. She's a very, very forthright person in her beliefs, right? I disagree with her vehemently. She's wrong, but she's not a troll.
What's her handle again?
But what's that? Her Be Thou Thy Vision.
I think I've talked to her. Yeah.
Be Thou My Vision. Oh, is she a she? The Be Thou My
Yeah,
Vision.
she. By the way, you keep calling her a he. As a lot of people call her. Her name's Sharon. Yeah.
No, she seems genuine.
She's genuine. So people got to be careful. There's two things I want to talk about her. One, she's not a troll. So people calling her a troll. She's not. I've known her for a long time. That's not a troll. She just has weird beliefs.
No,
but
I've argued with her on like the evolution of what's called again metamorphosis.
Yes, that was the person that I wanted you to explain more and more.
Yeah, I didn't get the vibe that she was a troll at all. I didn't.
Right, no, she's not. She's already there. She's thick though. Yeah,
she's very, very, very thick. Yes,
she's thick to understand evolution. That I agree with, but that doesn't make somebody a troll if they're thick. Okay, but she's nice, and I've always had a pleasant rapport with her, I guess. But the other day, let me explain to you what happened. There's occasionally an error that comes up on G+. And I don't know if some of you experience this or not, but it'll say unable to post or unable to post at this time.
I've encountered that.
Okay. Most of the time when you get that is if you put a link in there and for some reason it doesn't like the link or the preview of the link, and there's different ways you can get around it, but most of the time if you take all the links and you post, it'll work. Then you can go back in, edit and put the link in or do it afterwards. But not necessarily has to be that. There's times I had no link where you just get a message that says unable to post at this time. I
actually wrote quite a large comment and was unable to create posts at this time. I think I tried it about 3 or 4 hours later. Same message. I ended up just copying it into WordPad and I posted it the next day, I think.
Yeah, it happens, right? But see, I had asked Sharon something, And then she goes to another post and say, Steve, it's dishonest when you ask somebody something and then you block them from commenting. And I'm like, I didn't block you from commenting. First of all, there's no ability to block people from a single thread. You can't do it. It's all or nothing. And she said, well, I can't post it. It says this error message, whatever. And I'm like, explain to her, this is an error message that people get. I have never blocked you. You're more than welcome to leave a post. I've asked you a question. I want you to answer. And eventually, she's like, okay, you're probably right. And I believe you. But you see how people automatically jump to the conclusion, oh, you're automatically being dishonest. That word dishonest is being thrown around quite frequently lately. And I don't know if it's some trollish effect. Obviously, we had Cerberus Hex on the other day on Dragnot's channel. If you guys watched that, the whole point of him being in the GDC was just a troll. He admitted it. He outright admitted it. He was just being a troll. He only wanted to troll. And his whole point of engaging is just a troll. Right? You guys watch that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
Well, he was trolling, but he didn't exactly make himself look good. I don't know.
Yeah, but, he said he was trolling. He said his whole point in engaging he was trolling. Did he not?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah,
I didn't see that directly, no, but I've seen a lot of accusations that you've been dishonest recently.
Yeah, and
dishonest, hypocrite. There's a lot of stuff going around. I don't know.
Yeah, Lucifer's like Cerberus is a shit troll. Oh, I think I was laughing my ass off. Lucifer. Cerberus was so bad at trolling that I was dying. I was like, Pew, you need to give him some lessons because he was getting his ass handed to him. Especially by eulogy, a body eulogy. He was just destroying Cerberus.
Are they really arguing in a live chat about the 0.999 equals one thing again?
Are they still on that? We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that because I don't know, man.
In a couple of years.
I don't. It's funny. You could debate about a lot of things. I've never seen people until I came to YouTube debate math. It's like 1 + 1 is 3. 1 + 1 is 2. No, it's 3. Who the frick debates math?
Well, to be fair, usually people who are not familiar with 0.9999 think that it's not equal, but it's not. It's counterintuitive to some, of course.
It's called a veridical paradox, but that just means it's counterintuitive. I mean, it's actually a paradox.
Yeah. And you need to add recurring to your statement, Nestle, otherwise.
Yeah, 0.999 recurring or
0.99999, etc. Of course,
is equal to 1. They're the exact same value. There is no difference. Just like saying 1/2 equals 0.5.
No, Jim Herman, it's equal.
Yeah, they're equal. Jim Herman, 0.99 repeating
is equal
to 1.
Yeah,
easiest.
Yeah, I'm curbing the cussing because my last video again got demonetized. So I'm gonna try to see if I can minimize my cursing if that keeps it from getting demonetized and see if it's actually an algorithm that does that. I'm curious.
Has the HT been banned from the GDC?
Yes, sir.
The funny thing about that in Cerberus Hex was that the HT was accusing you of appealing to the masses, and that was his exact words. And Cerberus Hex used the words appealing to the masses in entirely the wrong context in the same way as Cerberus Hex.
Well, I mean, they think they feed on each other, kind of thing. Trolls usually tend to feed off each other.
Nah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it got to the point where Jim's like, I don't subscribe to your Western science. Yeah, we culturally appropriated science maths from the Arabics, and so if we're not Arabic, we shouldn't be using math, I guess. And the Greeks and the Egyptians. But
I should thank the Indians for 0.
Sorry, can you actually remember the Sumerians? They are the biggest single impact on maths in history.
Yeah, Sumerians, sure.
Yeah, like the radials, 360 degrees.
60 minutes in an hour.
Yeah,
60 seconds
in a nutshell, in real mathematics, I mean real analytical mathematics, right, as opposed to like imaginary numbers or different sets. So in the real set, 0.99 is equal to 1. It's non-contestable. It's non-debatable. It's not one is better than the other. It is right or it is not right. It is completely one or the other. It is absolutely correct. You can't argue 1/2 is not equal to 0.5 in real math. You can't do it. by definitions, axioms, it is equal to each other, right? By relationships. So 0.99 repeating or 0.99 recurring is equal to 1 for the same reasons. Or
you write it down as 0.999 and then point or something like that.
You see, the reason for this, people, is actually mathematicians are lazy and they just want to write a single digit rather than 6. I'm including the full stop.
That's it. 8. Well, the most way to shorthand write it is 0.9 with a bar over it, called a vernaculum. That's how it's typically done if you want to do shorthand. Or you can write 0.9R, right? There's a lot of different ways to express recurring. But 0.9 with a bar over it.
The Sumerians did math cuneiform.
Well, cuneiform was one of the first forms of writing.
Yeah.
But not necessarily for numerals.
They did.
Well, they had numerals. They had numerals.
No, they had
numerals, yes.
There's numerals in cuneiform.
Yeah,
Yes.
and there's different types of cuneiform.
It's a sexagesimal system.
Well, actually, no. Cuneiform is the same. There are variations on it. But the weird thing about it was the same writing system used for multiple languages. That was what was so cool about it.
Yeah.
How did they donate their numbers though? And what did they use? What did they use to depict numbers?
I think strokes, and then repeatedly after like 60, base 60 they had, and after 60 they did the new
there was
symbol.
symbology.
Yes.
Somebody had to ask RC asked, so the square root of 1 is 0.99 repeating? Yeah. Square root of 1 is 0.9 repeating, or square root of 1 is 1. They're all the same number.
Yeah.
What they're saying is it's like, the square root of 25.5, or is it 2.5 times 2? I mean, these are all relationships, right? And by the way, you can actually prove 0.99 repeating equals 1 by I don't know. I can think of 8 different ways off the top of my head. Using calculus, using geometric progression, using algebra, using intuitive proof. Just a very simple intuitive proof.
Yeah, I found very intuitive way to just multiply both sides by 10, then minus 0.999 repeatedly on both sides, then divide it by 10 again.
Yeah, that's the
9 divide by 9. Yes.
Divide by 9. That's the simple algebra proof. And actually, that proof was actually first done by Euler. He actually was showing that 9.99 repeating is equal to 10, and that's the method he used. And we also use that method to convert any repeating decimal into a fractional.
Not exactly the math. Not exactly the math hangout I wanted, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember. See, the problem is that 0.99 repeating. All repeating decimals are rational by definition, and so if it's a rational number, then you have to be able to express it in the form of a fraction with the expression p over q, right?
Yeah.
So
if you write a 1.0, then there are always zeros after, but you just don't write them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And just for Chris, I've actually shared
uniform.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Cool.
Sorry, I leapt in on those questions, but it's so rare I get asked stuff that I actually know about.
That would have been very difficult for me. I mean, I couldn't imagine looking at that going, okay, I know what this number is. I would have been like, let me count all these little things.
Wait,
let me just reinvent the numbers, please.
If you actually look to it, it actually makes an awful lot of sense because it's actually really, really simplistic.
Yes, it does. It really does. It's reminiscent of Chinese, the way they write the numerals.
Because of symbology. And
what is this anyway?
It's cuneiform. But Ober says, so 0.99 repeating is not a number. 0.99 is a number. 0.99 repeating is a number. It is a rational, real number.
Rational number, yes. Like the value of pi, it's irrational because it's not repeating, but it's infinite. Like 0.999.
Well, it's infinite decimal expansion. Yeah. Right.
Oh, can we change the topic, please?
We move out of math. So yeah, if you don't understand why 0.99 repeating is 1, go to Wikipedia, look it up. It's not going to change. It's a math fact. There is no debate about it. There's no discussion. It's like flat Earth to me. Maybe actually, it's even actually more provable than flat Earth because it's actually provable. You know,
by fucking math.
I recall watching QI, and there was a paper. It was when Stephen Fry hosted. It was one of the early episodes, and an entire paper was written. 1 + 1 = 2, and they went through the whole thing to actually prove it. You know, you think it would be self-evident, but
the first proof of that took 300 pages, Chris. The very first proof using just it used all axioms and just inferences and things. It took 300 pages.
I thought it was. I thought it was quite a lot of pages. I didn't realize it was that many. That is quite remarkable.
Yeah, we are. And by the way, we are presupposing base 10 here. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
So.
Okay, I'll take your word for that one.
Well, there's something in linguistics, if I remember, it's called markedness, and basically, mathematics is something very similar in markedness, which basically says, look, when you're talking generalities, you assume that we're talking about a commonality of mass, right? If I'm talking to like Nestle about math, unless it's stated otherwise, we should both assume we're just talking about actual real mathematics, real analytics. That's how
you should use the Sumerian math with me. You're racist.
Yeah, it's you use Egyptian fractions.
Well, it's the same when I talk about a MAC address to another techie. We both know it's hexadecimal.
Right, exactly. You presuppose. Well, yeah, it's kind of presuppose that you're talking about hexadecimals if you're using a MAC ID, right? A MAC address.
Or colors.
By the way, why are you using MAC addresses?
Sorry?
Why do you use MAC addresses?
Because that's what's on level 1 of the ISO protocol decode. You need a physical identifier.
That's what you're using?
It's to identify a device, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's to identify. What's that?
It identifies a device.
Yeah, it's a MAC ID. Yeah. On the system, right?
It's a unique identifier is the main thing.
In the UK, with the cable service, Virgin Media, if I took my TiVo box over to my brother's using his coaxial, I could hook up my TiVo box to his wherever the coax comes from, and I could get all the channels that I've got in my package in my brother's flat, purely because it works on MAC address and not on IP or location, which I find pretty handy because I gave him my second box, so he's got all the channels I've got.
By the way, Aaron Featherfoot asked a good question, and I had brought this question to Landon, Kurt Knoll, mathematician. He says 0.99 repeating is not a whole number. Yeah, it actually is. If something is in a set of whole numbers, Landon had no problem with that. He also said it's an integer. Because if you actually look in the research, 0.99 repeating, because it is equal to 1, because it is the set of 1, it is also called an integer. And if you actually go to Wolfram Alpha and type in as 0.99 an integer, it'll say yes. I've done it. We have to word it a little bit specifically, but that basically, if you ask if it's 0.99 is an integer, it'll say yes. And if it's an integer, obviously, it's a whole number. But it's again, it depends on what you're using as a whole number. Same reason why is 0 or a whole number or not. Well, it depends. In some systems, 0 is a whole number, and some say it's not. Right. So
if I wrote 1 as 1.000 repeatedly, then it's also still a whole number.
Yeah, I treat them as whole numbers, and I treat them as integers. Now, there might be a logical constructivist out there, mathematical constructivist that doesn't, just like they don't treat 0 as a whole number. I don't think it's inappropriate to do it. I just think depending on how you want to view it. That's my own personal thing. Landon didn't seem to have a problem with it. So.
By the way,
anyways,
I'm sharing my proof for the chat. Just to shut them up.
That's the simple algebraic proof. So, it is a conspiracy that 0.99 repeating is equal to 1. Wayne didn't get to it on his little show yesterday, which I missed.
Oh, there we go.
But, I heard he did a hangout on conspiracies.
I was there yesterday.
What's that?
Plainly was there.
I said I was there. It was
Plainly were there.
If people were complaining, we moved out. We moved into math. So so we need to move away from math. Sorry.
well, tough cookie. Well, go ahead.
I have been watching Numberphile recently, the YouTube channel. It's very interesting. I watched the Squaring the Circle. I think it was it Rajamusan?
Rajam. Yeah, you talking about the
Indian, yeah.
Ramachandran or something. That's he does analytical continuations.
Yeah, he almost squared the circle. He made it was a square about the size of, I think it was about 3 states in the US, and the area of the square. No, sorry, the area of the circle and the square were the same area. However, two sides of the square were off by 1 inch.
Yeah, it's Rajama Shara. I can't pronounce Indian names.
Rajamusan, I think it's his name is.
But yeah, they've actually proven that you can't square the circle. It's actually a proof out
Just
there.
Thought that was
can't be done. But all right, so let's go back to GDC stuff.
Yeah.
Where were we at on anything? Oh well, going back to the whole dishonesty and the hypocrisy thing. I have a little rule, and I want everybody to be aware of this. I had to instate it because if not, it just gets to the point people are just trolling. I think people should be called out if they're being dishonest and when they're being hypocritical. It'd be no matter who it is. But here's the thing: if you do so, you need to provide evidence for it. You need to show. And it's different from saying, "Oh, you're just being intellectually dishonest." And to be intellectually dishonest does not mean you're being dishonest. There's a difference there. Intellectually dishonest means that you're just intellectually not giving you the principle of charity, or you're just. How do you explain intellectual dishonesty in a way that not dishonesty? You're not being deliberate about it, right?
You're not being objective.
You're not being objective. There you go. Not being objective. Now, you can't be
deliberately dishonest.
You can be intellectually dishonest deliberately, but I don't think that most people are when they're being intellectually dishonest.
Talking more about cognitive dissonance then, really.
In some ways, cognitive dissonance would be intellectually dishonest because you're compartmentalizing, right?
Mm.
But they're not. The person who's being cognitive dissonant isn't thinking they're being dishonest, right?
Mm. And I think cognitive dissonance is like a subconscious thing, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing. So look, if somebody says, okay, you have you've been hypocritical, and then I would like to know, and I'll say, you know what? Okay, that is hypocrisy. I have no problem admitting, oh yeah, that is kind of hypocritical. Let me revise my viewpoint. That's, I think, what any normal person would do, would they not?
Agreed.
Except for Ronnie, but because he's not normal. But
actually, that when you watch that video, watch the bit where he then totally says, yeah, I see your point, and then at the end of the video says, well, actually, I disagreed with some of your points, but I respect you for saying it.
I will watch it. I thought you said don't watch it, but now you said watch it. Okay. Wow. So I agree. I agree with you, but I don't agree with you. Okay. But so anyways, I asked people, okay, prove it. And do you know how many times anybody has shown me to have lied in the many years I've been on YouTube that I've ever seen? 0.
6,132,200.
But see, I have not, anybody nobody in here I've ever said has been, outright lied. I've never asked anybody in here, okay, I've seen you lie, and let me demonstrate where you lied. It's not, if I say somebody's lied, I'm going to show them that they lied. I do that to creationists all the time, and to some militant atheist. But anybody here I've had disagreements with, I've never said they're just outright lying.
Unfortunately, lying takes a really good memory, and my memory is really shit. So I tend not to bother.
Good memory is required for good lying. You can lie without a good memory.
Well, I'm not stupid though.
People lying.
Depends how elaborate it is, I suppose.
I see flat earthers lying a lot, right? I mean, I don't give them the benefit of the doubt. I think that they're just being dishonest. I'll show that they're lying, give reason why they're lying, right? Because they no longer have any kind of principle of charity with me.
I actually caught someone out in a thread that was lying about me, making claims that, you know, I hadn't done something or, you know, whatever. Anyway, the details are not important. But he made the mistake of saying, well, I was told this. And then later in the thread, he said, well, I was there. And I sort of went, okay, well, hold on a second. Were you told or were you there? Well, I was there and I was told was what he came out with. I said, I'm sorry.
Steve, who is Scott 3X?
Yeah, I was just going to ask. Never mind.
Oh. And who is, who is 12?
Yeah, remove them all. Just don't even wait.
Alright, remove. There we go.
They're being clever now. They're doing mathematically interesting numbers.
Yeah, well, I'm in the outside chat. I'm just sniping as they come in.
Okay, I guess I
get 2 more people, you'd be nice. So you have 75 people watching. Can 2 people jump in to take up space? So we don't have that problem.
There we go.
So, anyways, 2 people come in. So, what do you guys think we should do about the that then? I mean, I definitely don't want to people think that they cannot, you know, think that I'm making a hypocritical statement or being a hypocrisy here. That's fine. But there's obviously ways of going about doing that, right? So if people are confused, you know, keep on saying that I'm being dishonest and they can't back that up, what should we do at that point? I mean, I just ignore them. That's all I can do. But then they say, Chris, your mic is really bad right now.
I think sorry, I hadn't realised that I wasn't muted there. I'm using my Xbox mic and it's got a little clickety button that I thought it was off. Sorry about that.
Your clickety button is breathing really loudly.
Hey, thank you.
Is it? Right, okay, I'll use the mute on the Hangout thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think
dishonesty about lying is that it implies intentionality, that it implies that the person has the intent to deceive. Unless you can back that up, unless you can prove it, don't claim it. Say
well, and here's the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
The case that you have given, I would say that that's a lie. Or he had an opportunity when you pointed it out to say, "Oh, I got confused," or "I misspoke," or "I," right? And
the thing is,
I didn't recognize the name, and it came up in my outside chat as no icon, so I booted you. I'm sorry. Captain Griffin was just coming to take up space. I'm sorry, Captain Griffin. I didn't know who.
We love you, Captain Griffin. Yeah, I mean, when I put that post up, I didn't say, "Oh, you're lying about me." I said, "Which is it? Is it this or is it that?"